millions of operational records in Google BigQuery, sales and service data in Salesforce CRM. Two separate systems, two separate schemas, and no common way to query across both. Let's fix that in this episode by connecting both these data sources to Data 360. We'll be using zero copy for Google BigQuery so that the data stays in place, and we'll use the standard CRM connector for Salesforce. By the end, we are going to have a standardized data model that you can use to query across both these systems. My name is Aditya. I am a developer advocate here at Salesforce, and let's get started. As discussed in the previous episode, Pronto uses 3 different systems. And in this episode, we will be connecting and ingesting data from Google BigQuery and Salesforce CRM. To connect Google BigQuery, we'll be using the zero copy connector. What zero copy means is that instead of cloning the data from the source system into Data 360, we make a federated query to get the data directly from the source system in real time whenever needed. This is what makes Data 360 a context layer rather than just another data warehouse. We are not duplicating the data, we are just creating a query interface that sits on top of your existing systems. Here is Pronto's BigQuery instance. They have different tables like customers, orders, and so on. We can see the schema of each table and the data that is present in it. In the customers table, we have a list of customers, each with their own unique ID. To integrate BigQuery with external systems, including Data 360, you need to create a service account. Think of it like an integration user in Salesforce. From the Identity and Access Management section on Google Cloud, you can create a service account. You need to first give it a name, and then you need to add the required permissions. The BigQuery admin role or permission gives full access, but as a best practice, you must follow the principle of least privilege and give the following permissions. You can get this list of permissions from our documentation as well, which I have linked in the description below. Once saved, you need to generate a new key for that account and download it. A key looks something like this, with fields like project ID, service account email, and a private key. You need these fields when setting up a connector on Data 360. So in Data 360 setup, click on Other Connectors and click New. Choose BigQuery as the connector type and enter the details from the file we previously downloaded. If everything is correct, the test connection should be successful. If not, you need to check for a couple of things. First, check the key itself. If the key has been rotated or revoked since you've downloaded it, you need to generate a new key. Next, ensure you are pasting the full JSON into the private key field and not just the private key segment of the JSON file. Double check all the other fields like the project ID and service account email if they are exactly the same as what's in your GCP console. Finally, ensure the service account has the required permissions to view data and metadata. Once you create the connection, you need to create data streams to start fetching the data that you need. From the Data Streams tab, click New and select BigQuery. And choose the connection we just created. Then select all the tables that you want to start fetching. For each table, specify the category, whether it is a profile, engagement, or other, and select the field that denotes the primary key. For the customers table, I have chosen the category as profile because it stores information about people. And for the orders table, I have chosen the engagement category as it denotes a person's activity or behavior. This category selection is important because of 2 reasons. First, this determines the type of data model objects that you can map this data to. For example, Profile data lake objects can only be mapped to profile data model objects or other data model objects. Engagement data lake objects, on the other hand, can only be mapped to engagement data model objects. The second reason is that certain features in Data 360 only support certain types of data model objects. For example, identity resolution and segmentation only support profile data model objects. Streaming insights, on the other hand, can be created only on engagement data model objects. In the final step, you choose whether or not you want to cache the data using the Enable Acceleration checkbox. If enabled, Data 360 caches the data locally, that is updated at regular intervals that you can configure. So whenever you run queries, it will first access the local data cache instead of querying the data source directly. Caching is only recommended when you query the data often and the data itself doesn't change frequently. Once the streams are created, you can see the stream type says direct access, which means it is a zero copy stream. If it says accelerated, it means you have enabled caching. Now let's map the streams to data model objects, which is what we refer to as harmonizing the data, where we are transforming the source format into one common data format. We map the customer DLO to 3 different data model objects: individual, that denotes a person; contact point email and contact point phone, that denote the emails and phone numbers belonging to an individual. These mappings are critical for 2 reasons. First, identity resolution is going to use these fields to match records across systems. Second is for semantic consistency, which means whenever you query for the email field on the contact point email DMO, you get the email addresses that come from BigQuery, from CRM, or even web events. Similarly, we map all the other objects. The delivery address DLO is mapped to the contact point address DMO. The orders DLO is mapped to the sales order DMO. The order items table is mapped to the sales order product DMO. And finally, the restaurant menu is mapped to the goods product DMO. These are a few standard DMOs to which you need to map data to later use features like identity resolution, segments, personalization, and more. Let's now use Data Explorer to query these DMOs and see if we are able to retrieve the data from BigQuery. And here you go. We are able to see the data as expected. The Copy SOQL button shows the actual query that has run behind the scenes. Another tool that you can use to explore data is Query Editor. This lets you write advanced SQL queries against different objects, including the ability to use joins or even functions. In this case, I am able to get the names from the individual DMO and the corresponding email addresses from the contact point email DMO using a single query that uses joins. Now that we have connected Google BigQuery using zero copy, let's connect our Salesforce CRM to Data 360. The Salesforce org in which Data 360 is provisioned is called a home org. The first decision every customer needs to make is which org becomes the home org. Is it an existing org or is it a brand new org? We've created a decision guide to help you with this, which I've also linked in the description below. In the case of Pronto, we have provisioned Data 360 in their existing org. A home org is connected to Data 360 by default. In case you want to connect to a new org, you just log into the org that you want to connect to, and the connection is established without you having to worry about creating external client apps and managing consumer secrets. To start fetching the data from a connected org, click New from the Data Streams tab, select Salesforce CRM, choose the org from which you want to pull the data. Now I can either retrieve individual objects or a group of objects together, which is what we call a bundle. We give you a lot of the bundles out of the box, and you can create custom ones using data kits. Here I'm going to choose the sales bundle, which gives me all the objects that I need for Pronto's use case. Once created, notice that the stream type says ingest, which means the data is being copied over and is not zero copy. If you have used a bundle, then the data mappings will be automatically established, as you can see here. Now that we have connected Pronto's operational and relationship data to Data 360, it's now time to get in behavioral data from their customer-facing website. And that's what we are going to do in the next episode using the new GA4 Web SDK connector. Don't forget to subscribe to get notified whenever a new episode comes out.